guys, Miss Chavarria here. Happy week 3. I'll be walking you through lesson 3.1. This is due Friday, September 4th by 11:59 p.m. If you need help, as always, reach out to me or Mrs. Hernandez or sign up for office hours. This lesson only has 4 parts. It's short and sweet. You're already working on step 1. Step 2 will be to evaluate by assessing one of your classmates' CEs from last week. The CE, if you remember, was the formative assessment. Step 3 is to engage by learning about carrying capacity. Step 4 is to reflect on the lesson, as always. And when you finish, don't forget to click Turn In on Google Classroom so we can look at your work. Okay, you're already working on step 1. Great job. These videos are linked here in English and then in Spanish, so you can pick which one you prefer. The weekly learning objective for this week is you will be able to analyze data and explain how climate, carrying capacity, natural resources, and limiting factors affect the interdependence of ecosystems. Step 2 is to evaluate. Below is one claim evidence example from your classmates' work from last week's formative assessment in lesson number 3. Yes, this is a real example. Your job in step number 2 is to grade the response against the rubric and then answer the following questions. So this should look pretty familiar. This is the rubric that we used last week and that we included in lesson 2.3 before your formative assessment. So again, for the claim, you will grade it as either meeting, approaching, developing, or emerging. Same goes for the pieces of evidence. And here in these boxes, it describes what meeting, approaching, developing, and emerging looks like for each of those. So for example, a meeting claim would be scientifically accurate and completely answer the question, whereas an approaching claim might be scientifically accurate but nearly completely answers the question. So again, this should look pretty familiar. This is the formative assessment question from last week. So the question is, what will happen to the wedge-tailed eagle population if the population of bilbies and spinifex hopping mouse decrease? Here is the sample CE. So reading the legend, in green is the claim, in blue are the 3 pieces of evidence, and in purple is the R, the reasoning. There are also letters in front of each one to help you identify what the evidence, claim, and reasoning is. Once you read that, we want you to use the rubric to score each part of this person's response. So when you read the claim, we want you to score it here using the rubric. So you will go up to the rubric and decide where you think this claim falls on the rubric. You'll do the same thing for the evidence. So you're going to type your answer to the grade you give a claim here, and then your answer to the score you give evidence here. Please be specific and use the language from the rubric when you do so. Once you finish that, we're going to go into talking about reasoning. So based on the previous example and where we identified the R, you're going to say what you think is the purpose of the reasoning statement. So you're going to fill that in here. What do you think is the purpose of the reasoning statement? The last part for this section is, what is one thing that you learned from your classmates' CE statements that you want to try or do better next time? So this is a place for you to reflect on, based on your classmates' example, what you might be able to improve on for next time. Next, you will take a quick break. And when you come back, the last portion before your reflection is to engage. So click on the link below to watch and respond to the Edpuzzle video about carrying capacity. So you're going to click on the picture, then click on the link, and it will take you to the Edpuzzle video. In this Edpuzzle video, there are several questions throughout. So as you watch, the video will pause, wait for you to answer the question, and then continue. Once you finish that, you can close that tab Then scroll down and complete your reflection. Make sure you watched the overview video, assessed the CE, and watched the Edpuzzle video. Fill out your reflection, let us know if you struggled, and don't forget to click Turn In. All right, see you in class.